Hey guys. Ooh, why am I nervous? Why am I so nervous? Like, I haven't been doing this for like 5 years. Actually, I've been doing this since high school, but I don't know why I always get nervous in front of the camera. Anyways, hey guys, it's me again, here today for a much requested, a much asked for chat with me slash podcast slash crochet with me. I really don't know what to call this yet. It feels weird calling this a podcast. Like, I don't know, I never thought I'd be one of those people with a podcast, but we're here now. You guys asked for it, so I am providing. If you're wondering, where did people ask for this? They asked for it over on my Instagram. And if you're not following me, you're definitely missing out because I'm posting surprise sales, I'm posting behind the scenes, I'm posting every single day, multiple times a day. I'm chatting with you guys on the stories. I'm having you guys help me with my projects, help me with my YouTube videos. So if you're not following me on IG, you're literally missing out so much. You're missing out on so much. So I guess welcome to the first episode of the Knits and Gigs podcast, where we'll be either crocheting and knitting and just chit-chatting. I know it's called Knits and Gigs and I'm crocheting, so I'm just gonna address that now. I like the name Knits and Gigs. I think Knits and Gigs is very close to Shits and Gigs. I think that's a very cute and funny name. And most of the time when I'm crocheting, most people that aren't in the fiber art community ask me what I'm knitting. Everybody knows about knitting, nobody knows about crocheting. So we're just gonna call it Knits and Gigs because people always think I'm knitting anyways. I actually have no idea how people crochet and not look at their work the whole time. So please give me some time to adjust to like talking to you guys while I'm crocheting because I'm really used to like looking down at my project. So it's gonna feel kind of weird not looking at my project at all. When I asked you guys over on Instagram what I should talk about, the most requested topic I had for the first episode was the story of how I started crocheting and how I learned to crochet and how we ended up here with this business. And I thought that was a pretty good story to tell while also like introducing myself to you guys because a lot of you guys watch my YouTube videos and y'all don't even know what my name is. Y'all have no clue what my name is. Y'all all think my name is Ann and my name is not even Ann. So let's just get all of the introductory things out of the way. And I'm sorry if this video is like chopped up and edited. I know you guys are used to podcasts that are like straight through, but I'm not very good at like thinking and talking and crocheting and just going straight through. And I'm also filming on my iPhone that doesn't have a lot of storage, so I have to like stop and send the video to my iPad and then go back here to record because it's a little bit of a ghetto setup we got right now. I don't got the money for a camera. I don't have the money for a mic. I don't have any of that yet. Hopefully through doing this podcast, we can raise the money. And if you guys want to give me some money, go buy some patterns. But with all that being said, yeah, just forgive me for the amount of cuts that's going to be in this first episode. Oh, and I say a lot. And I say a lot. We got a lot of things to work on. So first things first, my name is Jade. It's not Ann. My name is Jade. My middle name is Ann. And also both of my grandmother's names are Ann, which is very interesting, right? To think that both grandmothers on my mother's side and on my father's side have the same name. So that's why I'm pretty sure my middle name is Ann and my mother's name is Kathy Ann. There's a lot of Anns in my family. So that's why this business is named Ann's Closet, because I wanted to honor all of the Anns, especially the Ann that taught me how to crochet. I am also 29 years old. People often think I'm much younger than I actually am, but I'm 29, guys. I'm almost 30. So I've been doing this for a long time. My grandmother taught me how to crochet when I was like 9 or 10. So I've been doing this for years on top of years on top of years. Like when I say I've been doing this for 15 plus years, people are like, how have you been crocheting so long? Because they think I've been crocheting since I was 2, but no. I've been crocheting since I was 9 and I'm about to be 30. So when I was about 9 years old, my grandmother, Ann Gibbs, sat me and my older sister down and told us straight up that we are going to learn how to crochet and knit. She didn't say, do you guys want to learn how to crochet and knit? She didn't ask us. She didn't offer to teach us. She forced us. She sat us down and she forced us. Might I even say against our will, because at that age, we did not want to learn how to knit and crochet. We thought that was old people stuff. We did not ever see anyone our age knitting and crocheting. Even as I was coming up in high school and middle school, never saw anyone knit or crochet. I was always that girl that knew how to knit and crochet. I was always that girl with the grandma hobby. My grandmother sat us down and forced us to learn. I'm not sure how long it took us to learn. I don't think it took us that long at all. She pretty much just taught us the basics. She taught us the different crochet stitches. She taught us the different knit stitches, as in like knitting and purling. And she kind of let us do whatever we wanted from there. She tried to teach us how to read patterns, but we were so young at the time that pattern reading was just not working for us. So from there, my sister and I just kind of like free-handed projects. There was no such thing as YouTube at the time. We didn't even have internet yet. Like, we had AOL dial-up, if you know, you know. So there was nowhere for us to like go find fun, cute crochet patterns. There was nowhere for us to like have inspo besides like crochet magazines and knit magazines. And if you know anything about crochet and knit magazines from the early 2000s, they were giving very much grandma. They were giving very much granny. Everything was a sweater, everything was a beanie, everything was a scarf. There was no crop tops, there was no cute heart granny squares, there was none of that. There was none of that. So honestly, I kind of fell off of knitting and crocheting once I got all the basics done and once my grandmother stopped forcing me to do it. And I didn't really pick it back up until maybe like high schoolish. And even when I picked it back up in high school, I still didn't have any reference to like find cute things to make or anything like that. So I was mostly just making like rags and beanies and scarves. And I honestly am kind of sad that I never kept any of those projects, because it would have been pretty cool to be able to look back on what I was making then and compare it to what I was making now. I really don't know where any of those projects are. I don't even know if my mother still has them. I strongly doubt she does. I'm pretty sure they ended up in a Goodwill bin somewhere or in a barrel to Trinidad. If you know, you know. Once I got to college and, you know, YouTube was a thing, I picked crocheting back up a little bit, and I only made like a couple of crop tops for myself. I think I have a picture of the crop top that I made, so I'll put it here if I can find it. But I only have like a picture of one crop top I made, because I only think I made like 1 or 2 crop tops, and that was it. Like, I never even thought of making anything else for myself, let alone for other people, which is one of my biggest regrets. I really wish I took knitting and crocheting seriously in college, because I probably would have been way further along, especially as far as like selling my items. I would have been way further along because I was just around so many people. I was on a college campus, you know, a bunch of young people. I would have been able to like push my products. And also, so many girls were asking me like, how did I make my top, or where did I get my top from? And I would just be like, oh, I made it myself, and leave it at that. And I hated that I did that. I hated that I didn't even think about the fact that I could have started some kind of business from that. So if you're in college right now and you're watching this video, don't be like me. Please use your skills and start your business early. So we're gonna fast forward a little bit to quarantine in the middle of the panorama. I don't know if you can even say the actual word on this platform, because you know everything's being censored nowadays. So in the middle of the panoramic, I kind of got bored. We were all in the house bored all the time, every day. I was a nanny, so not only was I in my house, but I was also in other people's houses, quarantined. Nobody was doing anything, nobody was going anywhere. So something just told me to pick back up my hook, and I'm glad I did. It was around the time where Something in the Water Festival was about to happen, the second year of it, and nobody really knew if we were still gonna have it because it was the pandemic, but we were hoping that the pandemic would have been over in time for the festival. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. But despite the fact that we were in a panorama, I picked up my hook and I decided to make myself some outfits for the festival. Now, some of the outfits came out cute, some of them I never finished. Once again, if I can find the pictures and videos of the outfits that I made, I'll post it somewhere on the screen. Um, of course, I didn't end up wearing it to the festival because the festival ended up getting canceled, but I did end up wearing them eventually because they were too cute for me not to wear. So now let's get into the business and how Ann's Closet came along, because even though I was knitting and I was crocheting, I was not posting it on social media. I had no like social media presence really. Didn't even think I could turn this into a business. I had never read or I had never written a pattern or anything like that. So I didn't even know what this could become. About maybe about June, a little bit into July 2020, um, or was it 2019? I can't remember. It was either 2019 or 2020, in the middle of the panorama still. I decided to, I keep saying a lot, guys, I'm sorry. But I decided to move to Atlanta. And also at that time, my grandmother, the one that taught me how to knit and crochet, got really sick. Ooh, getting choked up. She got really sick and she was in the hospital for a pretty long time, and they were telling us straight up like it wasn't looking good, you know, start preparing, etc., etc., all the things that you don't want to hear when you have a family member in the hospital. Mind you, it was the middle of the pandemic and all of my family lives in New York City, so I couldn't travel to New York to see them because I was in Atlanta and I was outside, y'all. I'm not gonna lie, I was outside, I was going to the club, I was being a young, dumb 24-year-old. I was just living life and not caring. So when I got the call that my grandmother wasn't going to make it, I was devastated because I knew that I couldn't go back home and risk getting anyone else sick. So I had to watch my grandmother's funeral on literal FaceTime. Like, it was insane. Not even FaceTime, it was Zoom, I think. But I had to watch my grandmother's funeral on Zoom. Ooh, try not to cry, y'all, because I don't cry on the internet. We do not cry on the internet. I wanted to like crochet or knit something so that they could put it in the casket with her, but everything happened so fast and I wasn't able to do that. So what I did instead was start Ann's Closet, which was just supposed to be a cutesy little Instagram page where I showed off my creations to honor my grandmother. And that was it, to honor the skill that my grandmother taught me. It wasn't supposed to be anything bigger than that. It was just supposed to be me and my pictures of my crochet. Now, my first post on Ann's Closet was this like swimsuit that I made with Bernat velvet yarn. Obviously, it wasn't a swimsuit that you're supposed to like really swim in, because once it got wet, it got really heavy and it was not tea. Like it did not look good once it got wet. So it was just a swimsuit that you were supposed to be cutesy in, you know, just sit on the side and not really swim, whatever, whatever. And once I posted it, so many people were hitting me up and asking me to make one for them. So that's when I knew. I was like, hold on, like I'm about to start making money off this. I had no idea how to charge people. I was struggling trying to figure out how to make the swimsuits fit different sizes. I had to come up with a formula of how to shape the swimsuits so that it would look good on everybody's body, every shape, every size. I even made a few for babies. And then my best friend and I did a little photo shoot and shot a commercial. I'll insert the commercial here. We shot that little commercial. Literally, an ex-boyfriend that we will not talk about. He probably will get his own episode on this podcast because he was not a good guy, but he was a good guy for that little moment where he recorded everything I needed for my business. Um, he recorded this little photo shoot for us, and we had pictures, we had video. I created a little video and posted it on the internet, and guess what happened? Absolutely nothing. The only people that saw it were the people that followed me, my family and my friends, and that's it. And around this time, TikTok was also just like starting up, like just starting to become a thing. I think for months beforehand, people were trying to convince me to make a TikTok, but I thought it was childish. I was like, I'm not making no damn TikTok. I'm gonna stick with Instagram. But eventually, I made a TikTok, and on TikTok, I would post, you know, my packing videos. You remember when everybody was posting like videos of them packing orders, and you know, I would post like videos of me crocheting and little things like that. It wasn't anything elaborate at all. And then I got the idea that maybe I should start teaching, because so many people in the comments would see my videos and be like, oh my God, I wish I knew how to make that. Or, oh my God, can you teach us how to crochet? So I started making like little short videos of how to crochet and the different stitches and things like that. Once again, nothing crazy, very simple. Um, I I kind of already knew how to edit and how to record video, because I used to have a vlog channel called JGTV. It's still up. You can go check it out. When I was in college, I used to vlog with my best friend, and those vlogs honestly were so underrated. They're so funny and they're so good. But I stopped vlogging over there because I felt like I was giving too much of my private life away. And as I got older, I just wanted to keep my private life private, so I stopped vlogging. But being in that space and vlogging all the time and editing and posting on YouTube, I already had the experience of how to record video, how to edit video, how to make it sound good, how to post it on social media, etc. I was already set right there. So eventually, as I'm posting these little tutorials, one of the videos takes off. It was a video of how to use, how to turn worsted acrylic yarn into like bulky yarn, a simple 3-ply method. Honestly, there's so many videos all over the internet of how to do it now, but at the time, I was the first one to post a video on that, and I'm gonna stay on that. I had never seen anyone else post a video on that. I had found out how to do it from an article on a blog, and I was like, maybe I should make a video about this because this is really helpful. I just wanted to make a project with bulky yarn. I didn't want to go out and buy bulky yarn, so I was trying to figure out if I could just like 3-ply my yarn, and came upon that technique. It's an age-old technique that was created by like the Navajo Indians, and I decided to make a video on it. I posted the video, I went to sleep, I woke up the next day, and the video had like 200K views, which doesn't sound like a lot, because now people are getting millions and millions and millions of views. But at the time when TikTok was brand new, 200K views was a big deal. Like 200K views landed me on Elite Daily. Like I googled my name one day and saw that that video had ended up on news articles because of that little 200K views. And when I woke up that morning and it was at 200K, maybe an hour later, it was at 250. And then an hour after that, it was at 300. And it just kept going, kept going, kept going until eventually it hit like 700K. And I think it had slowed down there. But 700K was a lot for me at the time. And I was so shocked that a little video of me teaching a simple skill that had already existed for so long took off like that. And that is how everything started. From that video, people saw all my previous makes, people saw all my previous content, because I already had so much content because I had been posting for maybe about 6 months before that even happened. People started asking me for patterns of my designs. I didn't even know how to write a pattern, so I'm trying to figure out like how to write a pattern. Can I make money from writing patterns? Am I supposed to give them away for free? Should I post them on a free blog? What should I do? I'm trying to do research on how to build a crochet business and how to sell patterns and how to write patterns. And guys, when I tell you there was nothing, there was nothing. There was no resource that had the information that I needed, so I had to figure it out on my own. I looked up how to sell digital items, how to make digital items, because I knew that patterns were digital downloads, where to sell digital downloads. I made my own website from scratch with Wix, which is easy, but not really, because Wix has templates and I didn't like any of the templates. So I had to learn how to code so I can make my website the way I wanted it to look. It was a whole process, y'all. Like, it was a whole process. And now that I look back on it, I'm so grateful for all of the things that had happened during the pandemic, all of the moments that I thought were sad, and all of the things that I knew from before I even started this business, like how to edit, how to post, how to work social media, algorithms, hashtags, etc. Like, I'm so grateful that I already had all that knowledge, because it was like preparing me for the business that I have today. And after that video went viral, I think every single video I posted after that went viral, until maybe about last year, where posting I kind of stopped posting on TikTok as much and tried to focus on my Instagram, and then my TikTok just completely fell off. I was losing followers, y'all, like it was crazy. But now I'm back to posting on TikTok consistently, so my following and my virality, I guess, is starting to go back up. And I don't know, I really just be posting, y'all. I really just be posting. Like, I really don't post for virality. This business never started. It was never created to make me go viral. I never created it with the intention of making money. It was always with the intention of just sharing my art. And I'm so grateful that so many of you guys find so much value in the things that I create. Ooh, I'm getting emotional. I'm getting emotional. I'm just so grateful. And I didn't even put in this part, but when my grandmother passed away, she left me an insane amount of yarn. I'll post a video of how much yarn she left me, y'all. It was a crazy, crazy, crazy hoarders level amount of yarn. I didn't even know this little lady had this much yarn. I had no idea where she was hiding all this yarn, because when I went to her house, I did not see yarn everywhere. But lo and behold, once she passed, my father called me and was like, what should I do with all this yarn? I'm like, send me the yarn, because I thought it was gonna be one little box of yarn. It was like 7 large, think of the largest box you can get from U-Haul when you're moving. It was those size boxes. Like, the boxes were like up to here when I'm standing up, and I'm 5'5", filled with yarn, filled with yarn. She had a huge bag filled with needles. Hold on, I can actually show you guys the bag. She had several bags like this that were filled with needles, filled with knitting needles and crochet needles and yarn and threads. I have every size needle that I can think of, plastic needles. We have stitch markers, everything, scissors. All of her supplies were in little bags like these. Of course, I didn't keep all the bags. I gave some to my little sister. I left some for my older sister as well. And I kept a few for myself. But throughout the pandemic, I was able to sell a lot of that yarn, and that is what paid my rent. A few months into me moving to Atlanta, everything took off. Like, the video went viral, and I had a following. And now that I had that following, I was like, dang, maybe I could sell some of this yarn. Like, maybe people would want some of this yarn. And they definitely did, because a lot of the yarn was like vintage. Like, a lot of the skeins were from the 90s and 80s and the early 2000s, of course. So those yarns were in high demand. And as I posted the yarn on the internet, they would fly. They would sell so fast. And those skeins paid my rent until my social media was able to. All right, guys, we finished the first little granny square. It literally took me forever because it's so hard to talk and crochet at the same time, but how cute is this, right? It's so cute. That's my story on how I learned to knit and crochet, and how I built this business, and why I built this business, and a little bit of who I am as well. I really hope you guys enjoyed this story, enjoyed this first episode of Knits and Gigs. I promise every episode will not be about me talking about business. Please leave me some suggestions on what you guys would love to hear me talk about in the comments, or DM me over on IG and let me know how you feel about this. Give me some feedback, because I really want to know. Because honestly, filming this, like just sitting here talking, is like nerve-wracking. I don't remember the last time I filmed a video where I just sat here and I spoke to y'all. Well, with all that being said, I think it's time we wrap up this podcast, because I feel like I've been talking forever. But before I go, I just want to say, if you are a new crocheter and you're thinking about starting a page or starting an Instagram, or potentially that promoting your work or selling your work, please don't be discouraged. Please know that this community is so huge and there's room for everyone. There's room for new people, there's room for new patterns, there's room for new original designs. There is room for you. So don't be scared and just do it. I love you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.